What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the overall market, what just happened today, why the market is up so big, and what's going on with the NIO stock and how this may be dictated moving forward. I'm also going to talk about Tesla stock and why it's looking quite nice right now, and how could it also affect NIO moving forward. Before I break anything down about the consumer discretionaries, though, before I talk about what's going on with the overall market and give you guys my NIO price prediction for tomorrow, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, whether it's $1 or $100 is up to you. You're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000. And the best part is that it could be a free NIO share. The offer ends very, very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NIO is up 1.52% for the day. In my previous video, I talked about how NIO might get a bounce because of the bullish divergence that was forming, and NIO did get a small bounce today up for 1.52%, and the market ended up bouncing too. I did make a prediction that the market would try to rebound, but then I wasn't sure if the market would be able to break out of its range or not. I was not really expecting that, and the market ended up outperforming my expectation when it comes to spying the QQQ. However, I did predict that Tesla would make a very nice bounce too, a very nice rebound, and retest between 170 and 172.5, maybe around 172.5 or so. And this thing went all the way up to about 174.5. So a little bit higher than expected, but still Tesla did get the nice bounce as I expected, and now it's looking quite nice. But now I'm going to break down why the market got a really nice bounce. Why on earth did the market see SPY up over 1.2% and the QQQ up pretty nicely as well? Why did the market pump this hard? Well, one of the reasons is Joe Biden gave a speech and he talked about how negotiations are going good and we should be expecting a deal by Sunday. That's very important for the debt ceiling. There needs to be a deal closed as soon as possible. And they are going to most likely raise the debt ceiling. But what's tricky about it is when are they going to do it? Are they going to wait till like the very last second to do it? Or are they going to finish it like a week in advance? We'll have to wait and see. But Sunday is going to be very, very important. Now, I'm also going to break down something else that's important. Now, many other, House speakers and senators have come out and said that the U.S. is not going to go into a default. We don't have to worry. That's also part of why the market was excited. But this does lead to some expectations for the progress to be made. The market wants a deal. If we get the deal by Sunday, the market will be happy. The market could rip. If we don't get the deal by Sunday, the market, it takes its time. If I'm sorry, not the market. If congressional members and Biden just take their time, they don't get an agreement, the market's going to start to panic, and that could become very scary. Okay, so there's a risk for Sunday. But let me break down just a couple of catalysts before I talk about the market. Target had earnings today. Excuse me. Cisco has earnings. So does Alibaba, Walmart, and Ross for tomorrow. So make sure we're ready for those. And then as far as the data goes, we have initial jobless claims and then just a bunch of Fed speakers from Jefferson to Barr to Logan and many others like that. Finally, don't forget that for Friday, we have Jerome Powell himself speaking, giving a speech that's going to affect whether or not the market rips or if the market does end up getting a big rug pull. NIO has a relatively low price price ratio, is trying to base right now. There's not much else going on in the data that's different, other than Thursdays being a green day, typically about 51% of the time for NIO. And also, May tends to be a decent month for them, so let's hope something improves. And for now, the short interest is still relatively not too high, but not too low either. 33 million was the volume, very low volume on NIO, but the market still continues to pump on this low volume. Looking at the data, we had about 49% of the trades on the short volume relative to the price. And then NIO made an announcement that the 1400th NIO Power Swap station was achieved with support from their users and their partners. They've completed over 22 million power swaps, so huge congratulations to NIO. Finally, don't forget to mark your calendars for June 9th. NIO is going to be giving us their earnings, and this is going to be very important. It's going to talk about their guidance. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things. So anyways, June 9th, be ready for NIO's earnings. Let's talk about the stocks, what's going on right now. Well, when we zoom out, what you could look at are lots of moments on the 30-minute chart when we had Imbalances, we could go back pretty far back to look at them. I think I have to go all the way back to that pump we had to about 417. So there are quite a few imbalances right here. And I'm bringing these up because you could look at, I think this is about 415. There's another one up here around like 416. Look around 416. Then our final high is like 417.62 if we break 416.14. So the bottom line is there could be more room for upside. There's no guarantee that this upside is, done with and wrong. I also want to note that I was anticipating that the market would get a rebound after the big sell-off at the end of the day. But then I did not expect the market to break out like this. I was thinking we would stay within like the 413 to 411 range, and we would see how we go from there depending on what Joe Biden and he says during his speech. And instead, the market did something unexpected and it just ripped to the moon. SPY almost hit 416. The market's getting excited. And I'd be very careful because, yes, SPY has tons of options expirations for Friday, but don't forget we have Jerome Powell speaking, and you have to be careful on big events like that. Now, how are divergences looking on the charts? Divergences are still developing technically. We still technically have a bearish divergence right here. Technically, we do. It's still valid. This is still very, very valid on the RSI. It's not as valid on the RSI, but it is valid on the MACD. Uh, and still, I would just be very, very careful during times like this. Now, looking right here on the chart, it's still evident that it's still existence and the market is just range trading. Major resistance is coming around 417 to 416. And I believe the market needs to cool off a little bit, so we might gap down tomorrow morning, but we could make another pump to the upside. But once again, when you zoom out of the chart on SPY, we still have a head and shoulders that is technically still valid. Okay, as long as we fail to break 417, the head and shoulders will be valid. If we break 417.62, this thing is going to fly to 420. And I'm going to, shift my opinion because sometimes unexpected things could happen. So we have to watch these levels carefully. If it fails to break 417, then it could get a big rug pull. We could be forming a right shoulder. We're technically very close to where the right shoulder top has been. So we'll see if we can make it this one more pump or not. If it rejects here and it starts downtrending, then that's going to become very bearish. Okay, so be very careful now. We have to watch how this performs for the next couple of days. On the QQQ, and one of the things I told you is, excuse me, sorry guys, I need to clear my throat. Okay, sorry. Anyways, when it comes to the QQQ, this thing was pumping quite nicely, right? I told you guys that yes, this thing could pump a little bit more because of Tesla. But my prediction was this thing would pump a little bit and maybe cool off because of Joe Biden's speech, because of the debt ceiling uncertainties. However, we didn't cool off as the day went on. We just kept ripping. So that was a little bit unexpected, but I did warn you guys about this possibility. But here's the problem. There's a problem. There still is a negative divergence on the RSI. There's still a negative divergence on the MACD or the MACD. It's very big on the QQQ. Now, this does not guarantee the market has to crash, but it tells us that the market is still likely going to get a pullback anyways, right? And what I'm trying to say is right now, we don't have to like crash. We could end up getting the pullback later, okay? It could take a little bit of time. But until then, the market is likely going to try to hold these levels for now before we make a big reaction. Now, on the hourly time frame, we're very overbought, so I think the QQQ is going to cool off just a little bit, maybe retest like 330 and try to bounce off that. And we're likely just going to remain very, very sideways at these higher levels. And I think we're going to make the bigger reaction to Jerome Powell. So Powell is going to cause either the market to continue to rip up or he's going to cause a rug pull. We'll have to wait and see. Also, the debt ceiling is going to play a big role as well. For now, I think the market's going to hold up. It's going to cool off first, then get a nice bounce and just continue to hold up. As for Tesla, this is looking strong in my opinion, stronger than the rest of the market. I say that because on the 1 hour time frame, we still have a very, very strong trend. The MACD is still open and Tesla has not shown much weakness. Now let me zoom out and show you guys something else. There's a bullish divergence I was talking about yesterday. And then there's a possible accumulation right over here, right? Where we're gonna see these shorts start to close their positions down here, and they're starting to buy up these shares down here, and now they're letting this thing run to the upside. Well, I want to add that Tesla had let me double check this. Our volume showed lots of imbalances, right? Tesla filled this first imbalance and reached that level. And typically we pumped about like at least 176 to 177. I'm thinking Tesla's going to get the pump. It still looks strong. There's no clear sign of weakness. I think tomorrow Tesla's going to pump to about 176 to 177. Then it's going to reject and trade sideways after that. But I think there's a little bit more room left. I think Tesla has more potential to keep going. And I think this could help NIO. Now, what's a very big red flag is how the dollar is still breaking out, yet the market rips with it. That's very interesting. The dollar is still green. If the dollar holds this level above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame and it keeps pumping, I'm not going to be too confident in buying in the market at these high levels. The dollar tends to, and almost always, marks the tops and marks potential rug pulls in the market. And so far, the dollar is showing strength, which is not a good sign. It's just a red flag. It's not a guarantee. It's just a red flag, of course. I just want to be as honest as possible. And for NIO, we got a bullish cross on the PPO on the 1 hour time frame. On the daily chart, it's about to get a crossover on the PPO. I think it already got it, right? And it's holding very nicely above this level right here, above $8. It's holding quite well. We had a bullish divergence that formed. And I think NIO is just going to trade sideways tomorrow and try to hold above $8. And I think there's a good chance it's just going to remain around there, not really doing anything too big. It's lacking volume, but when we get closer to earnings by June time, NIO is going to show signs of high volatility. So please be ready for that. But that's what I'm seeing for NIO. It's going to make an attempt to push to about 8.2, then fail, come all the way down to 8, and just close very flat. Maybe a little bit green, hopefully, thanks to Tesla and consumer discretionaries and other EVs. But with that said, that's what I have for this video. The market is strong. It could make another attempt to the upside, but we have to be patient regardless because of many red flags. I have some merch for you guys if you want to buy a shirt or tank top or hoodie that says to the moon or eat, sleep, trade, repeats or anything like that. And also don't forget about the Webull link. The offer ends very soon. Put in $100. Put in any amount of money, whether it's $100 or $5, it's up to you. And you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. Have a great day. NIO in the market to the moon, and peace out.